when you give your child instructions, make sure the instructions are very clear. They can hear it easily, it's articulated well, okay? And that you don't use a lot of language associated with it. You're only using the language that's necessary for them to perform the task. And that each time that you're asking for it, you're going to be very consistent about using that same language. When the child is performing the task, if it's a new task, don't let them get it wrong. Help them, okay? Show them how to do it. Provide enough support so they can be successful at the task you're having them do. One of the biggest mistakes that new therapists make is not giving the child enough help for them to be successful. So they'll go into a sitting, they'll call the child over, okay? They know the child struggled with this thing, or they know that, oh, the child still hasn't learned it. And yet they'll just tell them, give them the instruction and not give them any help. And then they'll react like, oh no, they're not gonna, and then they go in with help after they've started to struggle or already have failed, okay? And that's something that you really want to avoid is that, oh, if there's something your child's still learning, they need help. And you need to give them the help right away in order for them to experience that level of success. When the child's completed the task, you want to make sure that the child knows exactly when they've done something right or when they've done something wrong. When they did something right, you have to make sure that you're providing them with sufficient amount of reinforcement that they're motivated to do the same thing the next time. When they do something wrong, you have to be clear about that as well. You have to give them a no so that they know clearly that they did something wrong. We call it an informational no because it's meant to be that. It's meant to be informational, right? Meaning that, oh, I did it wrong, okay? It's not meant to be harsh. So it's not meant to be, no, it's not meant to be that. It's not meant to be unheard, like, no, okay? It's meant to be very clear, but without emotion. When you first start teaching something, what you're striving always to do is keep your teachings as short and as successful as possible when the child is trying their best, when they're giving you the most effort or succeed in ways that they hadn't succeeded before. You want to just make sure I'm going to get you successful, and then I'm going to get you out of the teaching situation. Stark contrast when the child's misbehaving, all right, and they're engaging in problem behaviors, they're not trying their best, then you disregard time. Right? When they're behaving well, you want to be very conscious of how long they're working, how hard they're working. When they're misbehaving, then you don't care about the time and you're just looking at their behaviors, which is by the time that you're done, you're going to have listened to what I asked you to do. And it doesn't matter if it lasts 10 minutes or 15 minutes or half an hour, but by the time you're done, you're going to have listened to and followed my instructions. This whole process that I just talked about, where you're giving a clear instruction, the child responds, and you give them clear feedback, that whole process really is discrete child teaching. Discrete child teaching is teaching broken down into its most basic form. The SD is, for all intents and purposes, the instruction you give the child, and it needs to be clear, it needs to be concise, and it needs to be consistent. R is the response. So what does the child do? Do they do the right thing? Do they do the wrong thing? Do they not do anything at all? And the SR is the feedback that we give the child, whether it be us reinforcing them and doing things with them that they really enjoy, or giving them things that they really enjoy, or it's the informational no. So when we talk about effective teaching, it's all these small little things that you do that enhance the teaching situation, that make the teaching as easy as possible for the child to learn. Usually there's a lot of questions about, well, what do you do at the very beginning of teaching? Like, oh, what are the most basic skills that you're talking about, right? And so we're going to cover a few of those things here, right? So at the end of the day, your child's not going to listen to you for complex things if they don't listen to you to very basic things. So we're going to start with what all the basic things might be. For sure, the thing is your child won't listen to you for a lot of other things if they don't listen to you for coming over. You know, they're not ready to learn any other skill if you call them and they never listen to you when you call them. A lot of our kids lack imitation skills, okay? And what imitation is that, oh, I can see somebody doing something and I can copy what they're doing, all right? And so the thing is that imitation process is critical to someone learning. That the better your imitation skills are, the faster you can learn something. In line with what we talked about with the come here, basic instructions like clap and knock and stomp and stand up are critical. Why? Because they're the building blocks. Like, oh, if they can listen to you for those instructions, they are at least prepared to listen to you for more complex instructions. But if they won't even listen to you for those basic ones, they're not going to listen to you for those more complex ones. Thanks again for all the folks at Pixabay for supplying these pictures to me. Here's a video illustrating a few of those programs that I mentioned. Come here. Come here. Whoa. Come here. Yay! Go wants to do the dropping thing. The dropping thing? Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2. Come here. Go. Come here. Wow! Good job, baby. There you go. All right, all done. Do this. Do this. Yeah. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. All right, good job, all done. Wow. Good job. Touch head. Yay! Spin. Wow! Oh no. Oh no. Here's the chip.
Thank you.
What do you want? Nice pointing. Here you go. What? You want mango chocolate? You have to wait. Good waiting, Roy Boy. You can have the chocolate. Roy Boy. You can have the chocolate. You can have it. All right, so she has no problem waiting. That concludes our lecture for today. Next week, we'll talk about some common behavior interventions that we use that we ourselves have found to be very effective. Well, thanks everybody for joining us again. We really appreciate you taking the time out to listen to us talk about all these things. Any and all feedback is welcome, including like, what you want us to talk about in the future, what other things that you have interest in discussing, and we're more than happy to incorporate that. So if you have anything that's a suggestion, that's an improvement, make sure you write it into the comments. Okay, so remember to hit like, subscribe, and give us feedback for everything. We'll see everybody next time. Bye.